roll on that. Seriously, roll on that. Whoa. Yeah, seriously, roll on that. Why are we not recording?
Process for choosing a color to start with is really just about what color I think is really pretty today. Nothing really scientific.
Hey girl, I got you right where I want you. Well, hey girl, I got you.
Hi, my name's Jack Roberts and I'm a recording arts major at the University of Colorado, Denver. I went to a little elementary school in northern suburbs. It's like a really nice community. I lived there all the way up until I moved down here. Denver's a great place. There's some really cool places. The art museum is in that direction. It's that way. I don't really know where the art museum is from where we are right now. That way. I've been to all those places, I just don't know where they are from here. It's pretty noisy, but it's nice to live so close to school. And I mean, the city is a hub of people in general, so when you're around more people, you meet more people, and you get more work.
There you go. Yeah, so yeah. We're gonna move backwards with those guys coming from the table.
Hi, my name is Ryan Ferlic. My major is film and television, and I'm originally from Green River, Wyoming. I truly believe that Kitty and me were like, we knew each other in a former life, and she may have been like an opera diva that threw a temper tantrum backstage, and I was like a stagehand that was killed by a sandbag or something like that, and now this is her karma payback. I transferred to UCD primarily for the film program. I really liked what it offered and how it was very narrative-based and stuff like that.
I had some before I went to bed last night.
Yeah, and you drank most of it.
See, then you did finish it.
I never denied it. Milk is a communal resource.
Girls. You need to realize that there are other people in this house, Arabella.
Yeah, other people who drink most of the milk.
Girls, it's too early in the morning for this.
No, it's way too late.
Oh yeah, here we go again.
Give me a break. I have cancer. Remember?
All right, let's get going, guys. Yell at him, Hannah.
I'm not afraid to graduate at all. Especially because I'm old enough to be most of the kids' dad. So.
No.
Yeah. How old are you? 26. Okay, not old enough to be your father. How old are you? See?
I'm Lahne Annandale, and I'm getting a BFA with an emphasis in painting at CU Denver. I grew up in Colorado for the most part. I was born in South Africa, but I moved here when I was 2, so Colorado is my home. I have been interested in action painting, which is just really physically getting it involved with your canvas and your paint. And for me, I started out in acting school, and so that kind of raw emotion has carried on through acting, with dancing, and into my art.
All our students in arts and design have a critical filter. And by that, I don't mean a criticizing filter. I mean a filter that really sees culture and sees a way to engage in it positively. You know, I'm always perplexed about the debates about arts and education.
I think that students, more than ever, especially in the century we're in now with technology being affordable and with social media is what it is, just the ability for a student to connect, to be able to access the technology to record their performance and share it with the world, it's not a waste of money. It's actually very affordable.
For a long time, in the early years, arts education was supported by saying that, if students study music, they become better at math, as though the arts don't have an integrity in their own right. I mean, it always made me crazy that that was a rationalization.
Creativity inspires invention. And invention is the necessity for anything.
You can't create the iPhone without having that creative mindset. And if you don't exercise the creative mind, you can't apply the sciences.
And even, I'll just have him do that line there. I'll have him do the side hug thing there. Okay, so yeah. So let's do the close-ups. Let's get set up for the close-ups, guys.
This is not easy. Do that. Yeah, that's strange. Should I change the output?
I'm not gonna play that.
We are gonna record this old song. Well, not old, it's just one of our first ones, but we're gonna do it all acoustic. We've tried to record this song this way like 3 times, and we never like the way it turns out. So hopefully today, with all of this, we'll get something usable.
Yeah, I'm gonna play tambourine just when we jam, and then I think depending on how it comes out, I might have some foot stomps and some egg shaker on top. But I want to make sure that the tambourine's in time first. So it'd be nice, orchestrated percussion. Box up.
Yeah, we can do that. It's not that, it doesn't go that far. Now this rhythm.
Creativity is an outlet for emotion. There's people that will write about love and hurt, and there are people all over the world that need that connection to someone else to just understand they're not alone. You know, to know that they feel this way, but other people feel this way too, and there's a way to get through it.
So this semester I'll be graduating from UCD, and we have our thesis show at Redline, which is really exciting, and at the end of the semester we'll be doing that, so I'm kind of nervous. We'll see how it goes. Really, I feel like my oops moment for this semester was the whole beginning half. I'm gonna go back to my abstraction. It's what I've been doing and what I've been really dedicating myself to. I really try and bust out each painting within a day or 2 days. Reason being is that I feel that the mood that I'm in can often change. I try and finish it in one setting so it's one emotion and one feeling. If you don't vary your brush strokes, the viewer gets very bored. And I don't want my viewer to get bored, so it's something that you have to listen to because you can tend to get into a habit. It's about being intuitive, but also being analytical and always, what my teachers always say, remember to step back and to look. And it's a conversation. One of my professors said that, Vivian, and she said it's a conversation between you and the canvas, and you have to listen. You know, you can't always control.
Yeah. All right, as of now, we're 15 minutes behind, so let's I don't know. 7:30. 7:30.
I don't think that you can waste your time by trying to do something you love. You know, I really think you only waste your time by doing things you regret. And that's why I would regret not trying this, basically. My dream, the basic dream is to get to make film for real. Even just one time, just to really do it for real. Just being on set is the funnest time there is, or just working on film. Like even time when you're just editing, spending hours, and you finally get it, it's starting to come together, you know? It's just so much, it's like such a great feeling. So, but yeah, to direct and write would be my absolute biggest dream. You know, other than fill in for MCA and in the Beastie Boys as like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Beastie Boy and do his rhymes for him, but I don't think that's gonna happen. They're not gonna come and ask me that. So yeah, film would be my dream for right now.
The last mistake I had to fix on this is the spacing in between these words, basically, is what I want to fix. I want this one to look like this one. And I'm having a lot of trouble getting, for some reason it's not letting me click right where I want it to. And that's probably because this is due in 48 hours. Because if this were due in 2 months, it would be no problem whatsoever. But the software seems to have a mind of its own. Oh, everything about it is so much fun. No matter what the screenwriter wanted to do, like, you have the footage and that may or may not be possible. And so you get to retell the story, basically. So like, this is the true storytelling right here.
I've really always enjoyed pop. Like, even when I was a kid, I would still listen to like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys secretly. Not tell anybody about it, but I've always enjoyed it and never really thought much about it. And then I was involved in a lot of other types of music, and the more I wrote, the more I realized that this is what I can do. Like, I know how to make like a pop hook, and I know how to do that stuff. And also, I feel like there's a lot of money to be made in the pop industry. It's financially sound if you can be good at it. So I hope that someday I can be financially secure because of pop work. Valerie is a singer-songwriter at UCD, and she's mostly a vocalist and plays piano a little bit. And I reached out to her the first time I heard her sing because I thought there was just a specific quality to her voice that could just really go far. So I said, let's write this song together, and that's what we're about to do. It's actually surprisingly quiet where you are. You can kind of, there's like no reflections in there. Yeah, homemade vocal booth. Dasha is my fiance, Dasha Silva, and she's a really good sport about making loud noise at the apartment all the time. It can be hard, I think, since it's not always just myself in the apartment working on music. A lot of times it's other people from other bands, and that can change on a week-to-week basis. It's hard to keep personal projects on the table all the time when I'm working with a lot of other people, and sometimes creativity has to be natural. And when I'm in such like a, all right, now you've got 3 hours with this guy and 3 hours with this guy, it's like creativity is forced.
I mentioned Vivian George a little bit earlier. She was my drawing 1 teacher. And we were drawing, and she just looked at me one day and she goes, "You draw like a painter." Never thought about painting in my life. And I like looked at her and I was like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "You know, you just draw like a painter." So having that seed planted in my head, and I started thinking, and I looked at Vivian and I was like, "Should I be a painter then?" She goes, "Yeah, you should be a painter." My dream is to be able to paint like I am now. Like, if I could have the ideal life, it'd be like dancing, painting, you know, go socialize with people, because I get really weird if I don't talk for a while. For me, all it is I just want to wake up and do the things that I love. Whether that's forced in my free time or if it's for my career. If someone told me that I was making a mistake pursuing this, I would say that I'd still be where I am today, because I think that you, as an artist, you're fighting that all the time. When you tell people who are in more of the business world or a quote-unquote secure, more secure lifestyle, they look at you and they're like, "Why are you doing that?"
let's say I go and get to some business degree or something and I end up in an office job and then you sit there and spend your entire life dreaming about doing something else. I consider that a greater waste of time than actively pursuing something that you really want, you know? And let's face it, I'm probably not cut out to be anything but a filmmaker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I were in an office, I would probably bring productivity to a screeching halt because I would be just a huge distraction. This is LSI Lighting Services Incorporated. It's the largest lighting and grip equipment company in the state of Colorado. Basically, if you're gonna shoot anything in the city of any size, you're gonna come here and rent your gear. I like every single thing about working here, quite frankly. I'm fixing this as a Kino Image 80 light. Basically, it just had 2 of the outlets were no good when it came back, or they're sketchy. They fired, but they didn't fire consistently, so we're just swapping them out. 2 of them work. 4 of them work. 6 of them work. I guess I did a better job at fixing that light than I thought because Pat got it to work somehow, or Pat finished fixing it for me, I guess you could say. This is another big light, and that's a big fan. It's like big stuff. When I first came to LSI, the first time I went to LSI, this is what I wanted to learn the most. Like, was all of this stuff. Because it looked like there was like 90 different kinds of clamps, you know? And so I just wanted to know what every single one of these things did and how you would use it and that. And this is, I mean, this is being a student filmmaker, just knowing this carousel has been so helpful because we don't really learn about a lot of this stuff in school. And these are really easy way to install lights in odd places. And so when you're shooting in someone's apartment or something like that, and you need just a light in, like, you know, on a shelf, you just do it. This is my favorite clamp, actually. It's the gaffer grip. It's not very commonly used anymore, but it's my favorite because you can just attach a light to it and then just stick it on a shelf, and then there you go. You mounted a light really quickly in an odd place.
It's all about that moment, connecting with other people. When you get to share your creativity with someone and they love it, and they say, wow, this song like really speaks to me. How did you know to do that? And it's really just about communicating your own issues in life and being able to talk about that, and people will understand that.
You were in my audio production 1 class, like 4 years ago, what it was, and I think at the time I looked for you guys on MySpace or whatever it was, and this, oh my gosh.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, oh my gosh, you've taken your game up significantly.
Yeah, I think just like the songwriting and all the production stuff is like really starting to come together.
Yeah, so it's show, like, I can tell you've been a student of this and improving your instrument through the years, and it's obvious. I mean, there's always room to grow, but
yeah, totally.
It's very apparent that you've taken some huge steps in creating very competitive products.
Cinefest is the film festival that our school holds every year and allows us to screen our films on a big screen in an actual movie theater, which is a real treat for any new filmmaker because they actually get to see their film in a theater, you know.
My old man was a preacher and couldn't believe he dedicated his whole life to a figment of imagination.
And one day he's out fishing and a spinning metal saucer comes out of the sky and sits right next to his favorite fishing hole.
So you see, Job, I know none of this matters, and I'm not going to spend my short life working like a sucker.
And then they give out awards every year and stuff like that, so it's just kind of like a mini film festival.
Every year we give out one award that's a writing award. It's in memory of the passing of Michael Gorniak, and it's my pleasure to give the award this year to Ryan Ferlic.
I've seen Craig give that speech twice before. I've cried with him both times. Like, in this time, I knew it was coming. Like, I knew he was going to start crying. And right when his voice cracked a little bit, I started going.
All right, so our BFA is a group show. We'll have everyone from drawing, painting, sculpture, photography, 2D. No, I call it 2D, digital design, 3D animation.
I thought no more monsters were gonna appear tonight.
Morning of my thesis, I'm really quiet. I have a desire to create a universal language between my art in the sense of that everything is based on feeling and emotions that are evoked from my art. There's not necessarily a specific emotion that I gear towards, but I like to focus on the abstract nature and the whole world of abstraction and how it is very limitless.
And also, and I've seen this, Lahne, that everyone who's looked at your work, this mysterious body, from the slides you showed and my projectors there, is really moved by it. You should feel really proud of yourself for what you did.
Once I'm done today, I can stop learning forever. Forever. Don't need to know anything else.
What am I most nervous about after graduating? Everything. What am I excited about graduating? Nothing.
I got 3 A's and 2 B's, I think.
Good.
It's either 3 A's and 2 B's or 3 B's and 2 A's.
I'm really excited to graduate. I feel senioritis for sure. Mostly, it's just like I want to be done. I want to start working.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Good job. Thanks.
I love being a student. I love waking up and going into class, and I love what I do every single day. Love the people I'm around. I love my teachers. I love the campus.
I'll miss the professors. The community is really tight. For a huge university, my classes were always very small.
Jack Roberts.
It's kind of like you grow up and you realize that what you love to do sometimes may not be what you get to do. And that sucks. Because every day right now I wake up and I paint, and it's probably gonna get filled up with something else. So, yeah, I don't want to graduate.
Big inhale back up to standing, look up. Exhale, fall forward nice and slow to a forward fold. Thing to lift. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, cactus the elbows. And exhale completely. One more inhale. And exhale. Find a big inhale, lifting your chin. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, fill the ribs. Exhale, fold, empty the belly. Big inhale up to standing.
Art just kind of makes the world a nicer place, really. And if you don't educate children with art at a young age, you just get graffiti everywhere. If you don't give them something to draw on, you know what I mean, a piece of paper, they'll just find something to draw on anyway.
You can't even expect maybe society to advance if there's no room for creativity.
A really close friend of mine pointed out, like, everything we look at is art. Someone had to design it. So you're like, okay, so if I don't do what I love, then everything that you take for granted is taken away.
There are plenty of days that I wake up or that I'm sitting in class or anything, and I'm like, this is fully insane to do this at this like later stage of my life and to try this. But then I think of the alternative, and that's like if I was just sitting in some cubicle, bored out of my mind, dreaming about doing this. You know what I mean? I'd have the security of that paycheck and benefits and whatnot, but at the same time, it's a tortured existence because you always want to do something else. So hopefully, my family feels about me the same way I do, that this is a gamble worth taking. And, you know, if you don't really like go for something in life, then really what's the point of being like safe and secure?